welcome back to Attack on Titan, episode anime review, episode number 21. This one I'm viewing the 53rd episode of the anime, Perfect Game. This one covers pretty much the rest of chapter 79 of the manga, and covers pretty much the entirety of chapter 80. Picks up where last week's episode left off with Barnet as the Colossal Titan, pretty much going rampage for the Shuhas district. Yeah, he's tearing up the place. Now, there's basically two different things going on here. Well, three if you include what's going on with the freaking Beast Titan. Yep. Let's talk about what's going on with the Colossal Titan. He is just pretty much just stomping around. I do gotta praise the animation for making him look a little bit better than he did last week. Like, oh my gosh, it's like that. My guess is Wit Studio must have heard the complaints about how he looked pretty skinny. Like, much more skinny than usual. So, I'm glad the fact his arms look a little bit better, because in the manga, he's pretty beefy. Like, very muscular. Like, put a lot of muscle. Here, he's got very thin arms, but at least he's got good looking, like, his body looks good, but his arms like freaking thin. The Beast Titan looks pretty much the same as he normally does. At least the animation on him looks pretty good. Though apparently he's making him look dirty now because he's basically throwing on freaking boulders like it's a baseball pitcher. Yeah, he does baseball poses, though I have heard the first time he did this, he was doing it pretty much similar to how they do shock put, basically. Just take a disc and throw it. Yep. Now, what's Eren's group up to? Well, they are just hanging out on Eren. Yep, and Eren is still in his Titan form. Yeah, a lot of the time in the series, like prior to this arc, whenever he's in a Titan mode, usually he's there for like one episode, and then like every episode he usually transforms. This one, he's actually stuck in it. He's still in it, which is quite something. It's actually a long time I've seen him actually in the actual mode itself. At first, they tried to take it down with Thunder Spear. First, if Eren distracted, basically grabbing his leg, trying to knock him over. That fails. And it's also the first time Eren's had actually taken on the Colossal Titan in his Titan form. Because the last time he met him, the last special time he actually saw him, like, he actually fought him briefly, was actually when the Colossal Titan returned during, like, just prior to the start of Battle of Troust. Yep. And, let's see, what else? Yeah, then he got basically down to the Colossal Titan leg, and the Colossal Titan basically kicked him, and he landed right on top of the wall. And believe it or not, it was actually, like, right on top where the gate is. And I forgot to mention this. I didn't notice this until somebody pointed out that on one side of the wall where Eren did his first ceiling with the hardened mode, like the handprint the Colossal Titan left on the wall when he first attacked the Shuhas district 5 years prior to the events of the present day, and that is apparently still there. Yes, the hand mark is still there, like the little thing. Yeah, somebody pointed out, like, I immediately didn't notice until I saw it, until I saw it again during a review of the series by Foxy Anime. Yeah, he was the one who pointed it out. I was surprised. I didn't know it was there. Like, okay, I believe him. Yep. And he lands on top of the wall, and he just lays there the rest of the episode, doing pretty much nothing. Also, they have it where the group basically, also I thought this was so funny. Connie, of course, is basically acting like an idiot. So Jean is telling Sasha, bop Connie in the head. And she did. And of course, everybody decides to go use the Thunder Spirits on the Colossal Titan. But Mitsuko was one to do from behind the neck, like near the nape. And they actually reference, though, that their ODM gear does not work on the Colossal Titan because of his steam. So they distract him, and then Mitsuko uses the Thunder Spirits on him, and apparently they basically sort of, not exactly like bounce off him per se. It's like they make impact, but they don't explode. They basically get removed somehow, and Mitsuko gets caught with some shrapnel in her arm, and that's the last see of that. They see the Colossal Titan, and that's the last see of them. They do like a small bit in this episode, and that's pretty much it. As what the Beast Titan is up to, well, throwing all those freaking boulders at the remaining forces. I mean, when they see Eren on top of the wall, like, oh, Eren's alive, but they don't know if Hajj's group basically survives. Spoiler alert, they actually are alive. They're actually like currently in the manga. But I won't spoil how they survive. Yeah, so basically Eren comes up with the suicide plan basically have all the troops, with the exception of Levi, go out, full cavalry charge on the freaking Beast Titan, and have Levi go around and slicing like Titans, basically use the Titans as support to go over to the Beast Titan. That's pretty much his plan. And a lot of the troops are pretty much shredded, like by the boulders. Now, it was pointed out that I looked up online about one of the first Titan that Levi basically sliced up. It actually has the face of Armin's voice actors for the sub. I'm not kidding, it seriously is. I'm surprised that they actually did that for the series, where they actually included that particular voice actress as a Titan. Okay, maybe just an Easter egg. Who knows? And that's pretty much it. That's all really happens this episode. Yeah, roughly this episode covers like 1.5 chapters. I mean, it finishes up there the second half of chapter like 79, and it pretty much goes through, from what I can tell, the entirety of chapter 80, and that's it. The chapters are simply Perfect Game and Nameless Soldiers. Yeah, those are the chapters, and of course, Perfect Game is also the name of the episode. Yeah, though next week's episode is going to be called Hero. Now, there was an article that came out that basically announced what next week's episode is going to be called. Next week's episode is going to be called Hero. That's episode 54. 2 weeks from now, 55, will be Midnight Sun. 3 weeks from now will be the episode a lot of people are looking forward to, The Basement. Yep. And those are the episodes announced so far. And people were speculating the episode base might actually be, them going to Eren's basement that they've been teasing since the Battle of Troust. Yeah, they've been teasing this for quite some time, and finally they're going to do it. I saw from the opening titles, it looks like if I remember from the actual manga, so after they finish up what they do here, they actually go to the beach afterwards. That's what they do in chapter 90, but that's basically well after this. So as of this episode, they've covered roughly 50% of this arc so far, because this arc is only 20 chapters. And I knew ahead of time that this season was going to cover 40 chapters, which is actually the most of actually covered for one season of Attack on Titan. Though, for some reason, they decided to basically split it up. And apparently, and Foxy also points out, though, that the animation sort of suffered because the fact that a lot of people who would work on this particular season were busy. They released a movie recently for Wit Studio. I haven't seen. I think it's called Iron Fortress. I think it is the name of the actual movie. I personally had never heard of it, and apparently that is what Wit Studio did. And also their plans to start up another anime, a 24-episode anime. That's pretty much what Wit Studio is basically up to. Yeah. And in case you're wondering, I don't know if I remember I mentioned this when I first started this review series, but Attack on Titan is by far the first anime that this studio put out. And it's by far the longest one. They've actually worked on this one the longest. They've worked on this anime now for at least for about 5 years. I'd say about 5 or 6 years, though. Oh, I should point this out, though. There was an article that came out today that after this season, Wit Studio will be no longer doing Attack on Titan. Yes, after 6 years of making this series, they're going to move around to a different studio. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I did not suspect that would happen, but yes. That's pretty much what they're going to do. I'm like, wow. Oh, and the 24-episode anime they're actually going to do, it's going to be called Vinland Saga. The new film that came out just recently. I haven't seen the film yet. It's called Company of the Iron Fortress, Anitio Decisive Battle. I haven't seen this film, and I have heard it's really good. Yes, I have heard it's really good. So I might check out the series in the future, plus of course the films at a later date. But I kind of thinking, okay, the movie's done. Hopefully they can get some people to actually work on this particular season. I hope so. I seriously hope so. Though I think it's kind of weird though that after after 7 years, 6-7 years working on the series, Wit Studio just basically stops making the series. But at least the anime is still being made, except it's going to switch studios. My guess is the new studio is probably going to wait until the current arc is over, whenever it does get finished up. That's probably when they're going to, well, take care of it. Yep. But yeah, that's really it for this particular review. I have no other videos planned for today, but tomorrow I have roughly 4 review of newest episode of One Punch Man, Black Clover, Fairy Tail, and hopefully I'll get a chance to review the 20th season of Case Closed. I'm hoping to review that tomorrow, okay? But do you see you next view. Bye.